papers. Only time I'm safe is when I'm dangerous. Posted in the 30 with this 30, trying to leave them brainless. We still in the jets, exactly where them boys say we ain't hanging. Put cheese on my head, I come collect that shit, you think I'm playing. Trouble hop out bustin' at it, brother, miss you know I'm hitting. We got O's and Bo's in here, and we got wood cooked in the kitchen. If I say go get them, they go get them. Young boy fingers itching, fingers squeezing on the trigger. They heard all them glitches. Money man, I run it up. If I fall off, I'm poking shit. Told that bitch quit asking questions. I hate all that notice shit. We send shots the whole year round, no ring around the road and shit. My little bro, he makes you vanish. He with hocus pocus shit. Chopper bust, they hit the ground. It's too many sticks around. We known to get greasy, pussy. Don't you have your bitch around? Switch up on this bitch. I catch him deep, get a whole click around. Put us in the mission, shit that we ain't do. We spinning now. Bitch keep trying to tell me slide. Think she trying to set the pick. But the hoes been tripping, texting my bitch on that messy shit. Left the bro out there with his brains out, yeah, that's that messy shit. Bought another Glock, let's catch a op so I can test the bitch. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hi, Jenny. Hi, Bridget. What's up, Ashley? Hope, how you doing? Cuddy, what's up, Cuddy? D Vertical, what's good? What's good? XTO, what's up? Doing good, man. Happy Thursday, Jenny. Happy Thursday. All right, man. I'm going to be doing something different today. Something a little bit different of what we normally do. We used to do this. We were pretty forefront on the Diddy thing. It's just so many people covering it. It's just so much. You know what I mean? I didn't want to burn y'all out because I know y'all are seeing this shit no matter where you are on YouTube. It's like everywhere. There's more Diddy content going up than anything. But I thought, since I don't know if all the people from our new folks know as much as we do, or they know more, but we're about to find out. You grab my vape and drink. Diddy sure got himself in some fucking shit, don't he? Diddy has sure messed himself up, man. You know what baffles me the most? Is how these industry people, Diddy, you know, these rappers, most of them, well, let's just say, I don't even say most because we've been fooled a lot. A lot of them come from nothing. A lot of them are just, they made a good life for themselves, and then they is it something that's stuck in us or just engraved in our hearts, in our brains, in our everyday thing that we just don't know how to change?
Because how could you have net worth of $1 billion? $1 billion. I don't know. I don't know. What we're going to do is we're going to scour the internet today, and we're going to try to soak in as much information as we can. And I'm not going to do it with the long videos on people like Tissa Tales. I'm not going to do that to us in the daytime. No. We're going to skim through the fast ones. Like this one right here.
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called Hell on Earth. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence. How bad is it inside this federal lockup?
Oh, so it's a federal lockup. Okay. We don't have those. We don't have a federal lockup. There's more cells for Johnson & Johnson baby oil. How old is this joint, bro? Is this an old facility? It looks pretty old. It's in Brooklyn. No problem. Thank you, Bridget. I was going to cover it. But like, I just wanted to give it some time. It's 15 years old, so it's not too old. It's not outdated. So what's wrong with the living conditions?
There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here. Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent a harrowing year in federal custody. He says for someone used to a life of luxury like Diddy, prison life is a severe shock.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have a basic 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
Diddy's lawyers were so eager to keep him out of jail, they offered his palatial
$48 million home he was going to put up. What? That pussy motherfucker ain't going to last 2 weeks in there, bro. This bitch motherfucker ain't going to last a month in the joint, dude. He's going to be telling. Oh, he's going to be singing the blues, boy. Diddy? That's where the power went out? Okay.
$48 million home in Miami Beach and his private jets as bail.
Wow.
Today, they are even offering to restrict female visitors to his homes, except for his mother, daughters, and the mothers of his children if he is released. They told the judge that.
Wow, dude. Wow, bro. That's so fucking telling, dude. That is telling, bro. You release me. I promise I won't have no women in my house. I promise. What?
The jail he was being sent to is dreadful, dirty, inhuman, and an ongoing tragedy.
How's your dad doing? How's your dad doing?
Family members appeared somber as they arrived at federal court in Manhattan today in another attempt to get out on bail. The judge cited Diddy's history of violent temper and potential intimidation of witnesses as reasons for keeping him behind bars. Diddy's former protege, singer Aubrey O'Day, is celebrating Diddy's downfall today. I feel validated, a win for women all over the world.
It is.
Combs has pled not guilty.
You ladies, Soak it up, baby. I'm not talking about the regular ladies. I'm talking about the ladies, okay? The ladies that's been through some of the things that Diddy is putting these women through. Soak it up, women. Because I'm going to tell you what. Diddy needs to rot in hell for the shit he did, bro. Diddy needs to rot in hell. Here's what I want to see. I hope he starts telling too.
So I got to tell you, last night, I was actually doing a lecture at USC, and I got a call from one of our producers. And apologies to the students that I bailed, but we broke a story that Diddy got arrested last night.
Arrested last night in New York City by the feds.
And I got to tell you, Charles, I have never read 14 pages.
It'll probably come out.
Contained so much
many allegations.
Shocking information and allegations. Diddy, among other things, he has been accused of sex trafficking, engaging in a conspiracy to foster prostitution, racketeering.
We've got the indictment, y'all.
Narcotics offenses, arson, bribery. That is the beginning.
And the feds lay this all out. That they say that basically his organization, his company, which they refer to as the Combs Enterprise,
We got the full-blown indictment,
sounds
y'all.
more like a
mob,
outfit. That it existed mainly to fuel his desires, often his sexual desires, and they lay out in detail a lot of those sexual desires in this indictment.
So
one of the
centerpiece.
Oh wow, the overview for decades. Sean, aka Puffy, Diddy, P. You know all the names. God dang it, all the way down to Love. This man tried to change his name to Love. Can you believe that? The narcissistic people in this world, bro. The defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose member and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Bribery's ugly, bro. I mean, all of those are fucking ugly, but Sean Combs loved to operate his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global, blah, 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 record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcohol spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. Oh, this is long. We'll let these people. No way. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. This defendant engaged at all times relevant to this indictment. That means at all times. It wasn't just a one time. It wasn't just a 25 times. It means at all times relevant to this indictment, the defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. I think those videos are out there. I think Diddy was using these videos to make money and to use them as bribery. For one, money is the thing. Money. Now you're living in you're like your name's Akbar Muhammad Agasmesh, and you're in Egypt, but you're rich as fuck, and you would love to see some of these women naked and they're stars Oh, yeah, bro. Nothing better than making an orgy full of stars that everybody in the world knows, and they sell the tape. Yeah, power. Power. At times, Combs and others acted at his direction, made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location, no matter where he was. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. So he's telling these women, he's getting these women used to a certain lifestyle. He's getting these women used to a certain lifestyle, and then he's threatening to yank it from them. You might as well make them homeless at that point. If a bitch is used to living on $100,000 a month and you make her go down to 1,000, she's in trouble. I'm not saying the bitch word like to all women, but I do use that word as a woman. Physical abuse by Sean Diddy Combs, the defendant, was recurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years up into present, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at them, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman she was attempting to leave. We knew who that was. Can we give our hats off to fucking Cassie, bro? When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. He did. Ain't no attempt. He did. They kept that video hidden. Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses, to his abuse, and others. People are telling on him, bro. He's about to have all kinds of people hit that stand and tell straight on him. The defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. See, it said he says commercial sex. That's selling sex. He's including certain employees to carry out. Okay. These employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs' intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. Yep. That's a RICO. From at least in or about let's tell you about the Combs Enterprise. Okay, so that's all about the Combs Enterprise. The purposes of Combs Enterprises. Oh yeah, it goes all into detail. Dude, racketeering conspiracy. Damn, dude. That was just count one. Oh, man. I don't think it's that. It's not, Bridget, I think this is a little bit more. See, I'm with you. Did these women know? I mean, he didn't pick women that were not knowing, right? They probably all knew after a few nights with Diddy that he was a fucking maniac. But here's the issue with that. It gets a little more mental. That's what we've always said. When I started covering this case, we learned real quick that Diddy had been playing that mental game with these broads, bro. These women have been being trafficked without them even knowing. Like, he'll tell his homie, I'm done with this one. You can have her. And then they'll silently get these people together. And the woman won't even know the whole time. Like you're breaking up with the woman, but then you silently getting her together with your homeboy. See, that's trafficking, bro. That's sick. It's fucking gross. It's disgusting. He's like a legal cartel boss. Yep. What's up, D-Trail? Hello, everybody in the chat. Shout out Nestar. What's up, Andrew? Wookie, Freddie. Excuse me. Wookie, Freddie. Shout out to you. I got a new Cash App now, by the way. If you guys would like to donate, if you want to support the channel, I did get a new different Cash App. It's Aggressive TV now. So make sure you send it to the right one. Don't send it to the wrong one if you do.
Pieces, and we've talked about this before, are these freak-off parties that Diddy hosted. And, you know, we all knew.
That's the allegation. And remember, Cassie that first came to light in Cassie's lawsuit, where she talked about these freak-off parties that he would have at hotels she said, in Atlanta, Miami, LA, and New York.
What I'm wondering is, did this all start after J-Lo? Like, J-Lo, you really did a number on him, girl. He was in love, J-Lo. Yes, baby girl, it is. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Hang on, I'm gonna sneeze again. No, it's not a business Cash App. No. I just made another one. I just said fuck it, made another one. If they let me appeal the other one, I'll bring the other one back, but I don't think it's gonna go through this. I just heard Candy had to do the same thing. That's fucked up, ain't it? Yep. My homie that was over here the other day, he said it happened to him too. He was like, "Don't worry about it, man. It'll be right again in a couple days." I'm like, "Yeah, right, motherfucker." Stupid. My buddy's dumb, bro. He's like, "Don't even worry about it, man. It'll be okay in a couple days." Mine did the same thing. I'm like, "They force you to make a business account?" Oh, I like playing devil's advocate too. I just think it goes a little too far out of accountability when, like, what he was doing. Like when Cassie was trying to leave, he was forcing her to stay there. He was. You know, it's good. You know what I think is great about this?
U.S. attorney.
Cassie got her bread, bro. Cassie got her bread, bro. Yep. Thank you, Jenny. It did help. It helped a lot. That's why I was like, Candy going through it too? What's up, DMW? And then I knew then. I wonder what's doing it. I'm going to have to look up and see why it's doing that to people. I'm thinking once you reach a certain amount on there, so much start coming in or whatever. I didn't make $10,000 a year though. So the feds probably wouldn't do it. They said I was using it for goods and services. Like, dude, it doesn't even give you that option, bro. Cash App was stupid, bro. They tried to force me to make a business account.
Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who filed this, laid this out at a press conference.
Yeah, this is a very good. If anybody wants this indictment, I have the full indictment. I'll send it to you.
Days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB.
Well,
which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
You're not really obedient on GHB though. GHB's knocking these hoes out, bro. He giving these bitches date rape drugs, bro. He giving these hoes roofies, bro. What the fuck? This just goes to show you, man. All these stars, they're nobody. They're just like me or you. They just got more money than us. They just live a different lifestyle. They're no fucking different, guys. Yeah, Mr. Bass, he's a bitch. I don't like that guy. I don't like his face. He looks like a fucking criminal. That just goes to show you, though. This man's worth $1 billion and he's running around having to drug hoes. Are you serious? P. Diddy could find any woman in the world. That's what it is. He was pimping them. Yeah, they're bad people, dog. Like, I don't know anybody in my fucking life that have ever said, hey, let's go drug these bitches. Let's go drug these bitches, and then we'll just fuck them all over the place. What the fuck? Yeah, Mr. Based in New York's a piece of shit, bro. He said he made 25 million. Show it, dude. You ain't proving to me you made 25 million. We'll get on Mr. Based at some other time, though, for sure. Definitely. Is there some women out there, Bridget? Is there? I guess old girl was, wasn't she? What was her name? That just left him? What was that little chickie's name that just left P. Diddy? She was with him every minute of the day.
He was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims.
Now, they say they found those recordings of the freak-offs during the raids on his homes in Miami and here in LA.
Which opens
found them. I knew they found some shit, bro. There's no way you can hide everything, man. There's just no way when they coincidentally and all at once raid all your homes at the same exact time. A freak off is fine. Adults can do whatever they want inside their own homes. The problem is when you get like Diddy and you start making this a thing and it's normal. Yeah, you go to Diddy's parties, you don't stay late. Yeah, because they turn into fucking orgies. I mean,
a whole Pandora's
if you're getting
box
drugged,
who is in this?
You're
One
living
of
a
the things
lifestyle.
they're alleging, and this is the prostitution charge, which is that Diddy would bring male porn stars across state lines to participate in these freak-offs and essentially victimize. I mean, that's the way they're putting it. Some of the women who were pressured to be part of this.
Yeah, the feds are alleging, Harvey, a full-scale criminal enterprise here. They say that Diddy was conspiring with many people, mostly his employees, to engage not just in drawing people out across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, forcible coercion of sexual acts, forced drugging and raping of women, guns.
Just imagine
all
this.
Sorts of crime. Imagine this.
You're a young lady, right? And all of a sudden you get talked to, and then you're brung into this lifestyle, and he's like, well, who's your favorite male porn star? And you tell him, and he's able to get that son of a bitch on the phone and have him come to your house and fuck you. Come on, man. This dude's got so much money. He had to have been doing anything he wanted. He literally has been living life doing whatever the fuck he wanted. And now it's coming back to haunt him. Because one person spoke up. That's all it takes, bro. That's all it takes. One person to speak up. Good for you guys. Good for the women. Look, man. Good for everybody that speaks up. Don't be a Brandy.
And it's all part of a criminal.
Drugs.
In
You heard
huge quantities
Damian
of
Williams,
drugs.
the U.S. Attorney, talk about these.
GHB, oxy, ketamine, which he mentioned. Cocaine,
huge quantities of
MDMA.
drugs.
I mean, just really, Charles, this 14 pages is
found
It's
a
lot
shock.
in those 14 pages.
Wow.
And it is now, Diddy's, we should say, his side, his attorneys have said that they're disappointed. I always find that weird when they say, we're disappointed that they decided to pursue this. Well, of course you're disappointed they decided to pursue it, But in court today, Diddy did plead not guilty to all the charges, and his attorneys say
Look at him sitting there, bro.
he is innocent. And they're going to fight this in court.
So
this sorry son of a bitch went from sleeping on. Oh, I said this with Doug. Went from sleeping on satin silk sheets. No, it didn't. Cash App don't stop you from sending money.
got his lawyer going into court and not only said he was not guilty, said he didn't do it.
He came here to surrender at a time agreeable to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then they arrested him last night. I spent the evening with him. I was with him until about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with his head.
So when Diddy went down there,
every challenge in his
thing
life,
is,
and
so the true thing is, Diddy knew he was going to jail. All right, hold on. I think. Would you put it in there for me, Jenny? You got me, Jenny. I'll just pin it. Yeah, I got a new Cash App, y'all. I ain't want to fucking play with Cash App, bro. That's fire, bro. Keep it up, brother. There you go. I pinned it, dog. It's just Aggressive TV. I wanted to use Aggressive Defiance, but then I realized that there's another Aggressive Defiance, so I didn't want to make it, split up. Appreciate you all, man. Yeah, it is stupid. He definitely could have fucked any woman he wanted. Literally. Young Miami. Yeah, that's the chick that was just by his side through everything. Young Miami. She obviously didn't give a fuck, did she? I wonder if he treated them. It's almost, dude, it's scary as to what these people probably went through, bro. I don't even want to think about it, bro. Because I've done a lot of research on this Diddy shit. Y'all know we've been covering it together. It's psychopathic behavior. It is. That's psychopathic behavior. I'm telling you, man.
he's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges. He's going to plead not guilty, obviously. He's going to fight this with all of his energy and all of his might and the full confidence of his lawyers. And I expect a long battle with a good result for Mr. Combs.
Do you think he'll be released?
I'm going to fight like hell to get him released, and he should be released.
So when we broke this story, what happened was Diddy was staying at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan.
Dude, they're following him around so much. Imagine being a star that TMZ follows you around everywhere.
He's been preparing for this and
knows all your business.
The rest was walking around the streets of New York, talking to fans, taking selfies with them.
Yeah, and
he and his son Christian King Combs were walking around talking to fans. So he seemed like he didn't have a care in the world. He'd been there earlier in the week. He was over the weekend, was in Central Park hanging out. So they have said, his team has said,
oh
he
shit,
came to New York
is this the
voluntarily
Cash App
because he was cooperating.
So let's get into the fact that the judge denied Diddy bail.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Big deal. The judge basically said that
look at Harvey, bro. He's an asshole, ain't he? That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Dog Soldier said, but let's go. Dog Soldier with the $10 drop. What? Who said that the Migos created ad libs? You didn't hear DMX? What? DMA.
He basically he is going to be behind bars.
Shout out to you, dog. I appreciate
his trial
you, bro.
begins whenever that is. The judge said that
and by the way, that could be a year from now.
That prosecutors had shown enough evidence that he was either a flight risk and or a danger to others and potentially witnesses as well, because the
Nikki.
The feds
They say he tampered with witnesses.
that he's tampered with witnesses in the past.
Now, when we broke this story last night, we said the plan was for him to surrender today.
Right.
And now we know why they swooped in last night instead.
Well, at least according to Diddy's attorney.
But it makes sense.
Yes, Diddy's attorney outside court after the judge denied him bail suggested that the reason that the feds went and arrested Diddy at his hotel room last night is so that they could then go into court today and demand that he be held without bail.
Because if he showed up, it would seem he's not a flight risk.
That he's not a flight risk. He actually went down and surrendered. But
are you fucking stupid?
And
are you fucking stupid, attorney? Are you fucking dumb? Are you fucking dumb? Oh, you got a dumb attorney. You better fire him.
Oh, they just denied him bail because the judge seen that he was arrested instead of bringing his own self in. Yep, they denied him bail for that.
They're fucking stupid. That judge knows what's going on, bro. You think a judge don't know what's going on in the case? They could fucking give him bail just because you arrested or you brung yourself in. The judge does not care. He don't care. As long as you're in front of the judge, that's all that matters. I've had so many cops. So I had a goddamn bail bondsman was going to deny my bail, right? And he was coming to get me, right? Well, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I wasn't at home when he come. And he talked to my old lady. He come and he was like, "Is Eric here?" Oh, I'm his friend from the west side because we lived way out south at the time. And my old lady was like, nah, he's not here. He's at work. I'll tell him you came by and shit. And when I got home, she told me about it. I was like, that wasn't my fucking friend from the west side. That was a fucking bail bondsman. And I was like, okay. So I called him and he was like, yeah, man, you're going to have to turn yourself in. It'll probably look better for you if you turn yourself in anyways. They'll probably turn right around and give you a bond. I went down there. They didn't turn me around. They didn't turn around and give me no fucking bond. They don't give a fuck. I went from the judge. The judge don't give a fuck if you turned yourself in it or not, bro. They don't care. You could tell you like butt play. He probably liked it all, man. He probably was willing to do anything, nigga.
Thinks that was all part of the plan. So
seriously,
that he would be held without bail.
So he is pled not guilty. There was a little bit of victim shaming in the court.
Yeah, there was a part where they started discussing the indictment. There's part of the indictment where, as we said, they refer to victim one. Clearly seems to be Cassie. And Diddy's attorneys did argue that it's like they were trying to explain away what we saw in that video, in that horrific video in the hotel hallway, and said that Cassie was going through, although they referred to as victim one, was going through Diddy's phone and discovered he had another girlfriend and got mad and hit him in the head with his cell phone.
And the intimation
and then
is
left with his clothing. So
why are you trying to fight the case on bail hearing?
Trying to explain away
He
that
ran his attorney, bro.
Don't hunt.
No, that seems like a really questionable decision.
So look, we kind of knew
Get
this.
rid of that
It's very
mother. Hire
clear.
me, Diddy.
Cassie is their star witness.
I'm only 100 grand an hour.
Yeah, and I think this goes directly to the conspiracy and directly to the long criminal enterprise here. Remember, Cassie happened 8 years ago. I'm not even sure you could prosecute him for those crimes against her.
Man, shout out to me.
Well, the kidnapping you can.
The kidnapping you can, right? Just not the abuse, not the battery. Absolutely, but
shut up, Harvey. Shout out to fucking medicated Wookie, bro. He said, I'm funding this war. Shout out to medicated Wookie. Let me hear that dog.
I got racks in my front and back pocket. Racks. 30 more pieces of scrum in the closet. Nothing but scrum. I just left the bank and made a huge deposit. Nigga, I don't know your bitch, but did I fuck up?
Probably. Shout out to
all
Wookie,
goes
man.
to a grand scheme that he's been perpetrating, allegedly been perpetrating for a long, long time. And all of this is evidence of that scheme.
Speaking of a long, long time, Aubrey O'Day has talked
She's
about this
fine,
for a
bro.
long, long time.
Yeah.
And she told us something
Aubrey O'Day
today
is the one that's
after
been speaking about this since Jump Street, bro. Since he did them girls wrong and that making the band thing. I think, what was that called, y'all? What were they part of? Y'all know more about this than me, I promise. Ladies, help me out. What was Aubrey O'Day a part of, that group? Ah. I had it right on the end of my fucking... You think women are being two-faced on him? He definitely gonna be greasing them pipes in jail. Nah, Diddy will be fine. Only thing that's gonna happen to Diddy is he's gonna get a man. He'll probably be fucking punks pretty quickly. Danity Kane, yes, thank you so much. She has been the spokesperson. She has been the spokesperson against Diddy for that group. And you can say this woman has been speaking on Diddy for how long? 15 years, 20 years at least? Hell, that making the band shit was years ago.
the arrest.
Yes, she said she feels vindicated. I never thought I would see this day. We all buried this inside of us in order to be able to keep going. And not just me, but victims you don't even know yet. We are all processing what that type of vindication can actually feel like now. Every conversation I've had with victims last night has been beyond moving.
She knows
on
people that
all
went
levels.
through it too, just like...
So let's get into just one other thing quickly, which is the arson claim. And it seems to align with the Kid Cudi
allegation, right? That
Kid Cudi gonna show up to fucking
Diddy
court, bro.
had
And
someone
as he
blow
should,
up
he's
Kid
not a
Cudi's
fucking
car.
He's not a gangster
in the
rapper.
indictment, they refer to a Molotov cocktail being thrown at this vehicle and it blowing up. Cassie is the one who made the Kid Cudi allegation in her lawsuit. And you remember at the time, Cudi, his reaction to it was to say nothing, but in a very coy way.
Yeah,
had no comment. So.
Barbie from Boston. I just think given the circumstances, it's not outrageous to believe that P. Diddy might try and flee, and factoring in witness intimidation as well. I think there's a lot of reasons that he should not go on bail. And obviously that was understood by the judge.
Well, there is actually going to be, Diddy's attorneys are appealing the no bail decision. They'll be back in court tomorrow.
Look, he has a lot of civil lawsuits. Those will be put on hold.
He is denied
in
both
the criminal
times.
trial, but that doesn't mean the people in those lawsuits who file them would not be testifying.
Right.
Diddy
and it
is
does seem that a lot of the
trouble.
allegations we've seen in those lawsuits
Diddy is
are being
in
referred to.
trouble, son. I'm just trying to get like the rundown a little bit of it. I'm not gonna like. I should go to Tissa Tales. I really should. She'll tell us everything we need to know. Here's his level of protective custody. Oh, I bet he's protected, buddy. He's worth $1 billion. Kid Cudi was dating Cassie at the time. Yeah. He was fucking Cassie. And that's why he blew the car up. Mace dodged a missile. Yeah, Mace was smart, man. Mace got the fuck away from him, dude. Now you know why people were getting away
Sean
from him.
Diddy Combs remains behind bars tonight after losing an appeal of a ruling denying him bail.
I wonder, are they going to make him give that key back? I got you, darling. Are they going to make him give that key back? Oh, this paperwork's nasty, Bridget. It goes into detail. It does. That's an ugly indictment, bro. That is an ugly indictment to have. It's a 14-pager. Let me wait till I get off here, Bridget, because I think I got to send it differently. Yeah. He's probably going to be up there like an Epstein. That's what Dog said from the get-go. He's an Epstein, man. He gave the key back already? Good deal.
Music mogul now awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges that carry a sentence of up to life, possibly life in prison if he's convicted. Let's bring in CNN anchor and chief legal analyst Laura Coates. Laura, what's your reaction to the judge's decision to...
Here's the thing that I'm going to hope. Let's see a good trial. I'm so sick of seeing these horrible fucking trials, dude. Let's see a good fucking trial. Let's do good, and let's see a good trial.
Check Sean Diddy Combs' appeal to hold him in jail without bail.
Well, in many ways, given the severity of the charges and what was argued yesterday as well, it was all but predictable this could be the likely outcome here. Remember, there is a presumption of innocence, of course, for any defendant. But normally people think about a flight risk, thinking about whether someone should remain in jail pending their trial. But there were more factors involved, not the least of which is how prudent it would be and how feasible it would be to prevent the alleged activity from occurring while one is under the supervised release of a probationary period or out on pre-detention release. In this case, they found that it was not going to be viable as a solution to do so. And even though he wanted to post money, even have ankle monitoring, the severity of the allegations and possible obstruction or witness intimidation played very much into the decision.
And Laura, we also all remember that really awful, horrendous video of Combs viciously beating his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel lobby in Los Angeles. How much of that footage actually play in the court today?
Horrible, horrible.
Well, first, that footage
the way he
is
kicked her, he couldn't have loved her.
Disturbing to think about what we witnessed and that this may have been a precursor as a civil matter that would lead to the criminal allegations as charged in this.
That
the
kick
idea
right
of
there.
intimidation or obstruction
That
or
kick
the
right
abuse-related allegations, which in part are contained in this new indictment, would have weighed into the court's decision as to whether he posed a safety.
Damn, son, that's a hard watch, bro. Every time. That's a freaking hard watch, man. Shout out to the parents that teach us, man. He isn't capable of love. I agree. That's a hard watch to be doing to your woman, man. I'm telling you what, bro. Love doesn't contain violence. Anybody that loves you is not going to beat on you. It just won't happen. What's up, NYC? Good shit. Yeah, we were keeping up on it pretty heavy. And then it kind of just went, the news on P. Diddy went dry. And now we see why. Now we see why no news has been let out. Because they've been planning an arrest on his bitch ass. That's why. They've been planning an arrest. And let me give this, man, shout out to Tissa Tells. She is the #1 place to get that Diddy shit from. She is, bro.
Risk to the community specifically. Now, he has come out, as you recall, after that video to apologize for his behavior, to say that he was disgusted then and disgusted now with what he saw. But when you're talking about violent crimes, violent allegations, that will weigh in the court's overall decision about keeping the community safe. Now, he will be, as somebody who has some notoriety, he will have some level of
they go by a point
custody,
system.
Not
The judge
in the
doesn't
sense,
just make a choice.
Separation
It's a point
from
system.
maybe part of general population or thinking ahead to what that might look like for him. But he right now is similarly situated with every other defendant who has allegations of this severity and poses a potential risk for intimidation or obstruction. Remember, some of the conduct they allege is as recently as 2023, later in the year. And as of last
This
week,
dude's an
they alleged he
ongoing
made
fucking
phone calls
creep.
or there was some communication, over 50, trying to access a particular witness that he thought might be a part of this entire endeavor. And so all that combined is like what
damn, he's got over 50 texts or calls of him trying to contact somebody that is probably going to be a witness. God damn, Puff Daddy. This is what you call power tripping, bro. Power tripping. People like this shouldn't get this much power. That's power tripping, bro. To think that you can just pay off everybody and think money is just going to get you out of everything. Well, Cassie got both. Shout out to Cassie.
It was interesting,
Shout out
Laura,
to
that
Cassie,
the prosecutor
bro.
today read a text message one of Combs's victims sent to him after Cassie Ventura's lawsuit became public. She's the former girlfriend who was kicked and beaten up brutally by Sean Diddy Combs in that hotel lobby. The woman said, and I'm quoting now,
He
I
gonna be
feel
a
like
black
I'm reading
eight,
my
bro.
own
He gonna be an
sexual
eight.
trauma. She said she felt manipulated by Combs. What does that tell you about the risk of witness tampering going forward?
That tells me that this particular indictment might be the floor, not the ceiling of what the allegations would contain. Remember, there are these civil lawsuits separate and apart from what a prosecutor will be able to charge. Those are normally ending in damages, often monetary damages. And a criminal prosecution that can be
Diddy,
used to build one's case and to buttress the credibility of other witnesses. This suggests to me, given that this is a criminal enterprise being alleged, and they talk about enablers of people who were around Diddy, it might be very likely that part of that enterprise could be to access people who they think might possibly be helpful to the
Diddy's done
prosecution.
people wrong.
And that is very, very disturbing
for
for any prosecutor thinking about how they're able to prove their case
Wait till he
beyond a
jumps
reasonable
into
doubt, not
Suge.
only for the victims that are alleged, but for prospective victims as well in the administration of justice.
Wait until he bumps into Suge Knight. Oh, that's gonna be funny when you bumped into Suge. Suge Knight, whatever, however the fuck you say his name, Suge. Yeah. I believe this is a real freak thing. It is a freak thing, right? But when you start to become trafficked.
No, we support Diddy. What's up? We the supporters.
This dude's good. I like this guy. It's called Sidebar. This dude knows his shit. Like what I'm thinking about is like the trafficking of it. You heard them people talk. Like how they used to have women like think that they were, just meeting somebody that they don't know and they're going to get with somebody, or, it's like a hookup. But really them dudes already know that, hey, we're going to pass this hoe around. That's trafficking, bro. That's mental fucking. You know what it takes for a woman to finally break out of something like that? Or anybody, a man, anybody. That mentally you didn't even know that somebody was doing something to you for years, and that you've been pushed around and used and just amazing, bro. I think they're tired of Diddy. Yeah. Yeah. The mountain of evidence is just going to be so crazy. Watch.
We've been anticipating it for months, and it finally happened. Charges filed against Sean Diddy Combs alleging coercion, violence, all wrapped up in a RICO charge. And while a few are still showing their support,
we knew it'd be a RICO because of all his businesses
against one of the top-selling rap artists of all time. We are taking a closer look at the best evidence the prosecution has.
You know what this is? You know what this is for me? This is a big. It's a big statement to me because this guy come up when I was watching the culture, when I was entrenched in the culture, when I thought, that's all I wanted to be was a fucking hood dude, gangster dude. And that's what rap taught us all. I mean, this was back when rap just kind of formed. You got to remember, just before this, Dre created the Chronic album. And once the Chronic dropped, rap music changed forever. Yeah, people get tired of you. When your money can no longer buy me, I'm tired of you. You feel me? That's what probably people are thinking. Well, your money's no longer good to me. So let's just get him out of here. We don't know what he might tell. This motherfucker gonna tell on somebody, bro. He's gonna tell. But is there anybody to tell on? Being this kind of person, you'd think he'd want to be the top dog, right? Go from sleeping on silk satin sheets to now waking up on a fucking hard ass bunk. I never want to see one of those mattresses again. I never want to see one of those food trays again. I don't even want to see a commissary list. But is there anybody to tell on? Thanks, Nikki. Is there anybody to tell on? I mean, Diddy could be the top guy. You think he would? His attitude, the way he is, he probably wants to be the head honcho. And think what he brung his children up in. Those kids were brung right up involved in this. Perversion so sick that you can't even hide it.
On Combs to
He's
prison
top guy.
for the rest
Probably
of his
not.
life.
Maybe not.
Welcome to Sidebar.
His
My
attitude.
Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. 54-year-old Sean Diddy Combs was let out of a federal courtroom in New York on Tuesday by marshals, uncuffed but headed straight for jail. Spent the night in the MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center out in Brooklyn. It's a notorious jail that has had some pretty bad history of violence, suicides. Good. Sex offender Jeffrey Epstein being held there prior to his trial when he was found dead in his cell in 2019. Actually, interestingly enough, Damian
Jeffrey
Williams,
was found
the
dead
US
there?
Attorney for the Southern District of New York, was actually asked yesterday if he was worried about Combs' safety, given the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Essentially said, look, we have to strive to keep everyone protected. This is just the way the criminal justice system works. Interesting question, nonetheless. By the way, a form filed with the court on Tuesday afternoon lists Sean Combs as the defendant, and then under bail disposition, detention, risk of flight / danger, it has an X mark next to it. Also checked is the box next to defendant arraigned, pleads not guilty. Now, we've gone over the 14-page indictment filed against Combs in the Southern District of New York, plus letters regarding bail sent to the judge by both the prosecution and the defense.
I would have gone into that fucking. I would have gone into that indictment, but it's just a lot of fucking just me reading. I mean, we could probably find it on here, somebody reading it to us, but we might.
Kind of did a deep
It's
dive.
bad.
You can check it out on the Law and Crime Network YouTube page. But right now, what we want to talk about is something else. So the documents, what they do is they give us a better idea of what Homeland Security agents found inside of Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami when they were raided back in March, as well as other evidence that they have collected during the course of this investigation. The Southern District of New York is well known for being one of the top courts in the country. According to statistics from the United States Sentencing Commission in fiscal year 2023, the SDNY had more than 1,000 cases. And of those cases, 94% of the defendants ended up taking a plea, while only 6% chose to take their case to trial. And the court's conviction rate is reported to be 95%. So in other words,
Son of a bitch, son. You're dumb. You're either going to take a plea or you're going to lose in trial and go to prison. That's what he's saying.
If New York prosecutors file charges against you, it's safe to assume they've done their homework and think that they have a really solid case. So the U.S. attorney here was asked during a news conference on Tuesday why the charges against Combs were brought in New York instead of Florida or California.
Well, I'm biased. I'm the U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York. I think that we have an outstanding track record of bringing.
Why wouldn't they do it in New York? He's from New York. Most of his shit's done in New York.
Difficult.
Fuck yeah,
sex
do it in New York.
trafficking, human trafficking, labor trafficking, you name it. The Southern District of New York can do it, and so we're very proud of that. And so the scope and complexity of this investigation isn't something that we ran from. It's something that we embrace, and we will continue to do that.
Now, as we sort through these legal filings and legal situations surrounding Sean Combs, can I just take a quick second to tell you guys about something else, something positive for once, something that I think you're actually going to really love. Would you want cash back when you buy gas and groceries?
Oh my
Because
God.
if you
Here we
do,
go.
that's where our the rapper producer. And to do that, I want to to find out how much you could earn, use our promo code on
You
your
know how
first
much
tank of
that
gas.
probably cost him? You know how much that ad revenue right there? You know how much it costs for him to do that ad midstream so that YouTube doesn't even see it's an ad? Because I have premium, it should have blocked it. But no, he did it. That was probably a $20,000 fucking ad.
Okay, I want to talk about some of the strongest pieces of evidence right now against Sean Combs, the rapper producer. And to do that, I want to bring in two special guests. I'm joined by Colin Schmidt, retired FBI agent, CEO of Kronos Investigations, and Robin Nunn, trial attorney and federal litigator. It's great to have you both here. So first, Colin, what is your reaction to Combs' arrest and Combs' indictment?
Well, I think I was on one of your
he'll
shows
tell
at
if
the
there's
very
anybody
outset of
that he
this
can
when the
tell
search
on, he's
warrant
going
occurred,
to
and I
tell.
was asked, okay,
I
why didn't
100%
they
agree
arrest
with
him
that, dude.
and indict him right on the
Anybody to
spot?
tell on?
And my statement then was
He's gonna tell.
they're putting their case together because he's such a public figure and he has so many resources. They want to make sure they get it right. So when I saw this indictment, as well as the detention memo that the prosecutor put us over, it looks to me like they really, really did their homework and they're
He's a
really
billionaire,
making
guy.
sure that these
This shit ain't
charges
just
stick.
going to go away overnight.
So, Robin, what do you think? Because
He ain't
this
gonna
is
lose that
interesting.
much
You
money.
heard Damian
I
Williams
mean, he'll
say
lose a lot,
they're
but he
confident
ain't going to
their
go
office
broke.
should handle it. You know, there were raids in California and Florida. There seemed to be a connection to New York, saying that this criminal organization, this criminal enterprise, was based or had headquarters in the Southern District. What do you make of this case being spearheaded by them, and what do you make of the indictment that we saw?
Yeah, there are no stronger prosecution unit than the Southern District of
Yeah.
New York. They have a special unit that is designed to take cases such as these sex trafficking, RICO organized crime rings. So I think Damian Williams is stating it pretty clearly and correctly that the Southern District of New York would be on anyone's top list of units of government agencies that would be able to handle something like this with a celebrity and the complexities and the number of witnesses, because it is such a elite and heavy conviction centered prosecution unit.
The indictment and the bail letter that was put forward by the prosecution.
Yeah, I would assume there'd be a lot of money left, but I mean,
disturbing to say the least. And even though we don't
gonna
know
have
all
to.
the evidence, and we're going to get into some of
It won't.
they seem to be very confident in their case. But it also, we don't know how many victims there were. It seems that one of the charges is at least with respect to just one victim. Racketeering cases can be complicated. But saying that, do you feel that this is a strong case based on the allegations put forward?
Yeah, this is one of the strongest sex trafficking cases that I've ever seen. While the indictment was not as detailed as I was expected, and there were some allegations that I suspected might be made that were not, such as, underage victims or, perhaps murder or, things like that. This was focused enough and had enough meat that I feel like it'll be very difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot
feel like
to
to
say
sort of
about a
get out of
murder
these
charge with him
allegations.
too.
It seems
Him
like
or
they've
his son.
interviewed a number of witnesses. I think they said at least 50 victims and witnesses that have already been sort of.
I mean, Lucian Grange, TD Jakes. TD Jakes is low end too. Clive Davis is one. Yeah, you're right. You guys are right. You guys are right. I mean, if your boss knows you're doing this, right? So let's say Bad Boy has a boss, right? It's called, what was it? Somebody said it in the chat earlier. I forget the record company's name. Warner Brothers. So if your boss knows you're running around doing this shit for this many years, yeah, man, they're probably up to it too.
Interviewed and have agreed to cooperate in this, and I'm sure that there are many more, and they're even looking for more. So I think that they feel
TD
pretty
Jakes,
strongly
where are
that
you?
they
I
put
want to get
together
your
a
dog
strong
ass.
package, and I think they're
I
pretty
want you,
confident.
TD
Do you
Jakes.
agree
I
the way
hate
he was
people that use
arrested? This
religion.
became a big issue yesterday.
Oh, where are
He
you
came
at,
to New
TD
York,
Jakes?
was at the Park Hyatt.
TD Jakes, come out of hiding. Is that why he quit? TD Jakes. TD. You fucking religion pusher. You fucking user. You sex.
He and his attorneys knew he was going to be hit with charges. In fact, his attorney said to the media before the indictment was unsealed, we anticipate racketeering and sex trafficking charges. But yet, despite that, they took issue with the way that he was arrested and he was apprehended and taken into custody. I think he wanted to surrender himself. Do you disagree or agree with the way that it was handled?
I'm a little agnostic on that. The bottom line is he's accused of very, very serious crimes. I mean, there was harm, allegedly harm done to people. And if they want to go out and arrest him and do it in that manner, that's their prerogative. And frankly, that's their right.
Yep.
So for them to say, well, he was going to turn himself, he was going to do this, he was going to, we don't know what he's going to do because he, right after or near the time of when this first search warrant was done,
real big
place
explaining
in
to do
LA,
as you had
apparently he got on a plane and flew down to Florida.
That
So
video's weird.
he's already
dude.
shown a propensity to move
That
when there's
video is
pressure.
weird,
so
bro.
I think the New York authorities thought, well,
Cuba's
we got to
a
make sure we
weird
get
one.
this right. We want to take any chances of a flight from this guy, because if they tried to track him down in a foreign country, it would be an absolute nightmare.
By the way, I was talking last night about this, and I was asked, why didn't he just leave the country? Right? He knew the charges were coming. Why didn't he just leave the country? And I said, well, they,
Yeah, but you can't run forever, man. I'll agree to that, bro. I've had some warrants before. I ran for 8 months one time, and I knew I was innocent. I'm dead up serious. I knew the case that I was going to have to fight was I was innocent, but I also knew I was going to have to sit down for a little while. I wasn't going to be able to bond out on it. The bond was too high, and I was going to have to sit down for a while to prove my innocence. And I did. I sat down, but I ran for like 8 months. They kept going to my grandmama's house because that's the main address they had. You know, I ran. I mean, but you don't want to run forever, bro. You do not want to run forever. Trust me. Looking over your shoulder, worrying about the police stop you. Fucking any little thing, dude. It's running is not. It's not all it's cracked up to be. I'll tell you that. It does get a little bit tiring looking over your shoulder, for sure. And if you're Puff Daddy, I don't know how you stay around and not be out and everybody know who you are, where you are. Yeah, I don't care about him. I mean, has to go through a fair trial. We don't know if he's innocent or guilty. But man, let me tell you something. What we've been hearing over the last 2 years of Puff Daddy is nothing but fucking horrible. Not one good thing has dropped on P. Diddy in 2 years. It's all been bad. All been bad.
Beforehand, they knew when he was boarding a flight, and he's been moving around, right? He hasn't just stayed in one place during the course of this investigation.
You think he's uncleared to declare bankruptcy, dude? His net worth's $1 billion, bro. $1 billion.
I don't know. Let's say California, let's say Colorado, let's say New York, and just saying
it's just a trial, man.
Go to some country that doesn't have extradition. What prevented him from doing that? And what would be the way authorities could track him and stop him from doing that?
Well, to do that, it takes a lot of moving parts, because he's going to have to get pilots that are going to participate in that
and making
conspiracy to flee.
Yeah,
the pilots also have to file a flight plan. They also have to pick a country to go to that's going to be friendly to his issues. That's not going to extradite him. And he also, when that plan is filed, then he has to go through a process with Customs and Border Protection to be, in terms of being able to go to the next country. So I'm sure he had considered that, and I'm sure he took the advice of his lawyers and decided not to do that, because if he had fled, then this would have amplified, and then the full force of the United States government would have come down on tracking him down and bringing him back.
Do you think they were tracking him though? Like, not necessarily like they had a surveillance team
yeah,
watching.
He might just. So
do you think investigators,
declaring bankruptcy would probably help him?
Kind of knew what he was doing.
You're right.
Well, I think based upon the number of people who have come forward in terms of the indictment, I think they had people that were likely reporting on him, reporting on his actions and his movements, as well as the fact that they put so many resources to this, it would
I can't
be
understand for
reasonable
life
for
of me
them
why
to be
everybody would throw it all
watching
away.
his phones,
You got
watching
the
his
world
computer
handed to
activity,
you, bro.
and frankly having more people around him who are informing on him and his behavior.
I want to go into some of the evidence now and talk about what could be the strongest pieces. And to be clear, it's not entirely evident what the prosecution has, what people said to them, what the physical evidence is, what the digital evidence is, but let's go through it. So the prosecution says that many of the accusations against Combs can be corroborated by witnesses. And this is mentioned several times in the prosecution's letter to Judge Robin.
That's not good in a trial, bro.
Arguing against bail, for example.
That's not going to be good in a trial.
Like, a dozen witnesses will confirm that they personally observed the defendant's violence towards women and or the
so they're going to be in court, bro.
Women.
They're going to be in court, and they're going to be reading these things off. They're going to be reading these things off, right? And then there's going to be a person there that's going to say, yep, he did it. That one right there. Him. Oh, that's going to be ugly. And then that's mostly going to be women probably. And getting up there and just going, yep. Yeah, he's in here. It's him. Yeah, you're going to fucking prison, bud. Pack it up. Give him the death penalty. I don't give a fuck.
At the defendant's hand.
Yeah,
then on page 11, it says dozens of victims and witnesses have provided detailed, credible, and corroborated information against the defendant. Page 13, quote, as to witnesses to date, the government has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, many of whom saw or experienced the defendant's abuse. The government only expects that number to continue to grow, given that the investigation, which is now public, is ongoing. So
there's gonna be people coming out of the woodwork, dude. Now's when the women that were hurt
these people
come out,
conducting these interviews.
Too,
what do you think that's
and
about?
Be a witness for the.
Well, 2 points here. Number one, he corroborated his behavior himself with that video that came out of him assaulting his girlfriend in the hotel, which was somewhat hard to watch as a father of a daughter and somebody who's been in law enforcement. Secondly, you talk to one person, and the most basic question you ask at the beginning, middle, or the end of the interview, is there anybody else? Oh yeah, I have this girlfriend that also suffered this type of behavior from him. And then you go to that person, and then, oh yeah, I got this person, I get this. So it ends up being a string or a network of people, because frankly, these women are most likely associates with each other or know each other. And they may even be close friends, and they've been in the circle that was basically targeted by Sean P. Diddy Combs, as well as the people around him that were assisting him in this behavior.
And we're going to also get to this a little bit when we talk about the digital evidence, but how do authorities corroborate what they're being told? Is it they hear a consistent pattern over speaking to multiple people? If 5 people say the same thing, okay, unless they coordinated this, it looks like it might be true, or it looks like there might be probable cause here. Or is it also looking at their phones, looking at other evidence that was collected during the course of the raids and saying that matches up to their story? I imagine the fact that, I said this before and I'll say it again, the idea that anybody can sue anybody. I mean, you're not supposed to file frivolous lawsuits, but it seems on the outset that you have prosecutors who are believing the accounts of these accusers, at the very least, it seems, Cassandra Ventura, and filing criminal charges based on those accounts.
Cassie is beautiful,
that,
bro.
Authorities are believing what's being told, and they have the corroboration. It's not just the accounts of these people, but other evidence to back it up. Now, again, their stories might be similar, but I guess the question is, how do authorities corroborate what they're being told?
Physical evidence.
Pattern is corroboration. So if you have 50 people saying the behavior was the same pattern, or he took the same actions, and he's been accused. We don't know until he's seen his day in court what really happened. But that's the first level of corroboration. The second thing is, apparently they seized videos from his house in California, and that's going to be extreme corroboration right there, because it's going to play out right in front of them. And then the third piece of this is the digital evidence, is the text messages, is the communications that he had with these women based upon, and every one of them is likely saved those text messages on their phones, and were able to give screenshots to the authorities. So it appears to me that the evidence is overwhelming. However, we're only going to know if it truly is overwhelming once he has his day in court.
You know, I think it is interesting how many people were apparently interviewed. And we're not entirely sure if all the people who filed lawsuits against Sean Combs are the main accusers, but it seems to me, at least from Cassandra Ventura's point of view, it seems that prosecutors have built their case based on
video
those
with Cuba
allegations. And I said
Gooding
this
Jr. in it.
yesterday, and I say it today.
That is so odd, dude. And another thing I feel like with Cassie, I think she gives me the J-Lo look. Did J-Lo fuck P. Diddy up? Was P. Diddy madly in love with J-Lo when she broke up with him? And then he just went crazy? Because it seems like those are the years. Ever since that gun in the nightclub incident or whatever with J-Lo, she was out, bro. She had smart enough people around her to say, yeah, man, get the fuck up out of here, bro. You think J-Lo been in the BS? I don't know, man. She probably seen some of it. She might have seen some of it. But it seems like it's the years after her. You know? This is what it seems to me. Seems like it's been the years after J-Lo. Maybe J-Lo put that snapper on him. Yeah, but that could be why she left too. And then that pistol incident, that went haywire for J-Lo. That didn't make her look good, and she fucking dipped, bro. She was outro. P. Diddy, you're a fucking demon, bro. You're a demon. They say J-Lo's on some of those tapes. Oh, that'd be fire. I mean, not saying it. I'm not going to say that, but you know how much those tapes are worth if you've got stars? If you've got stars that are big stars in America, right? And you're able to get them in an orgy, I wonder what that film's worth, bro. Because you know that's kind of what they were doing. Probably selling it to these fucking people overseas. All these people, you know what I mean? There's some weird shit goes on with that porn industry. He said they were having men porn stars pull up at their house, bro. So Diddy's able to get on the phone with anybody he wants. And if you're a male porn star and Diddy calls you and says, I'm going to pay you this much money, come out here and bite out. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, bro. I bet Diddy's up in that cell like, oh my fucking God. I bet he's pondered the S word. I mean, at some point you have to, right? Should I just off myself? They're going to put him in a Fred Flintstone suit. And a Barney Rubble. You got that Barney Rubble suit on. You think J-Lo left when she saw Diddy was too big for his britches? Yeah, I remember my mom saying something about J-Lo. She had the right people around her at the time, as far as like her assistant, her manager, the people that were, trying to further her career, that they got her away from Diddy. I'm pretty sure it's what my mom was into this star shit, dude. She was deep into anybody that was in the movies and like entertainment news and celebrity gossip. She was all into it. And she told me, she said that I think I remember her saying that J-Lo's people got her away from him, or like they were together for a couple of years, but I bet they did start seeing something. Yeah, I know, dog. She had some great hits with Diddy. Yeah, she's got some shit, bro. She wasn't really a great big star until Diddy, really. I mean, she'd already been in like a movie or two. She was in Selena. She was still young. I know. I don't think she's a talented singer at all, really. I think her career's in acting. Honestly. I never thought she was a great artist at all. She just had a song. She had that song with Ja Rule. That was a big hit. Those are timeless hits, though. Yep. Yep, that's what I heard too, dog. I heard that J-Lo could have did time over that. That's off if she's looking good for that age, bro. There ain't nothing off. That's good. Shit, J-Lo can fuck. J-Lo's hot, bro. She is a better actor and dancer, I agree. But J-Lo's fucking smoking hot, bro. Whatever she's eating, you gotta give it to her, bro. She's doing what it takes to live a good, normal, healthy life, obviously. She's fire, bro. J-Lo is fire. Cassie Ventura's a beautiful woman too, man. Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, why couldn't Puff Daddy just have a normal life, man? Why do these people gotta jack up everything? You got Young Thug making millions of dollars now, and he's out in the streets play baby and like he's a fucking block boy again. Like, what the fuck, bro? Y'all gotta wake up, man.
One thing for
Teach our
somebody
children
to sue
better.
somebody else, right? We have a lower standard. They shouldn't file frivolous lawsuits, but you have to, filing a civil lawsuit is very different than criminal charges. For prosecutors to believe these accounts and seemingly have it, people who are corroborating one another, there's a pattern there, but also maybe corroborated by the digital evidence. That is very significant that you have civil lawsuits that may have triggered a criminal prosecution.
I think that's
Yeah,
right.
but that's
I think
because
that
it
the
opened the
civil
eye-
complaints, which we saw, there were many, definitely got the ball rolling. But I would say that it was the video of Cassie, that violent incident that we saw in that hotel lobby that I guess came out of the blue, that really was what I think put the nail in the coffin.
He didn't pay
That
enough,
was actually
did he?
cited to
'Cause it
in
come
the
out, didn't
indictment
it?
as something that they planned to
If
use
he
as
would have paid
evidence.
enough, they
And
would have
actually, I
destroyed that
believe led to
motherfucker.
the enhancements that we
And
saw
nope,
on what
they
they're
let it
seeking
go
as
out
far
anyway.
as prison time.
And essentially, he could be looking at life in prison if he's
Oh,
convicted
eating
across the
vampire
board.
blood?
I am curious, is it a
Okay.
clear case for you when you hear the different accounts? Because they're saying there's a
Oh,
lot
God.
there. They're saying he operated a criminal
Let
organization.
me get some vampire blood, because right about now,
engaged
I'm
in
needing that
forced
shit.
labor, kidnapping, arson, violence.
Yeah, more, they're taking the
They're saying that
adrenaline.
it was a common purpose to protect Diddy, to satisfy his sexual desires, to make money. There's a
I'd take
lot
all you
thrown
ladies in
out
the chat
there.
over
Is this a
J-Lo.
tough case to ultimately
She's
prosecute?
too rich
And
for
then you have
me.
the sex trafficking charge.
I'd rather
you have the
get rich with
transportation
one of y'all
transportation for purposes of
get
prosecution
with rich
charge.
J-Lo.
Is this a tough case to prosecute? Is it a clear case to prosecute?
Yeah, I think it's always a tough case, right? I think that a lot of work and evidence has gone into leading up to now in terms of bringing this indictment, in terms of having that initial hearing and sort of having him arrested and bringing these charges.
Yeah, I would want her.
However,
I would want her to
I
at
do
least
think
look
that
about
Diddy has
40.
very competent legal counsel.
Yeah, I want my
think
woman
that
to
they
look like
have
a
seen
woman,
this
not a
probably
kid.
coming for some time. I think that while this case feels like R. Kelly
Freak
all
the
over
sheets
again to me,
and
where
a
you
woman in
obviously
the
have,
fucking
sort
in
of a
the presence
video
of
of an
other.
underage
I
person,
have to have a classy woman
that
in
was
the presence
involved
of other
and
people.
introduced.
Now
I
we
think
can
that
get
this
freaky
has,
in the bedroom,
sort
but
of samplings of that, but
I need you to be a
assume
woman.
that
I
the
need you to be a
defense is going
lady.
to say that he did not do this, right? That this wasn't an organized crime
Brandy.
syndicate that the prosecutors are accusing him of. This is a group of friends having a sex party. Yeah, it's not what you want to necessarily hear about. No one really possibly, likes it, but it is what it is. people like Diddy, people wanted to be around him, and they allowed themselves to be sort of manipulated sometimes into perhaps doing things that sound unsavory.
There's the devil's advocate.
I think that is the crux of what the defense's sort of argument will be. And I guess the question will be, what do you believe?
Continue on with this. When agents ended up searching Combs' homes back in March, they left with a lot of evidence. There were weapons, both seemingly legal and illegal. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams showed photographs of some of them during that news conference.
Here are some of the items that we recovered during this.
He's in trouble, bro. They recovered big items. Like, this is
as you can
good
see
evidence.
here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well, we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced.
Uh-oh.
Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there.
Okay, so first let me ask you, why would someone deface weapons like this?
They're stolen.
Well, to hide the ownership of the weapon, and so or the origin of the weapon. So depending on where he got it, he may be defacing it, or whoever defaced it. So if that weapon had been used in a crime prior to him possessing it, so that's one of the number one reasons, as well as be able to keep transferring that weapon amongst other people, because there's no way of tracing that weapon.
Were you surprised that he wasn't charged specifically with those gun charges? Remember, so it's part of the overall racketeering case. It's an example of a criminal organization, but he wasn't charged specifically, which my understanding is a federal crime, possession of a weapon that has an obliterated serial number. I think the suspect in the second attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump has been hit with that charge. Were you surprised that Combs was not hit with that?
No, because it's coming. I believe they're gonna supersede with this indictment with more charges.
Yeah,
that's generally they start with this one, kind of see how it fleshes out, and then they'll determine what they need to actually add on, depending on how the evidence starts playing out amongst the people that are going to start coming forward, because they're probably looking not only to corroborate the
women do manipulate
human
men.
trafficking, but they
it's
also
a different manipulation,
this possession of all these firearms.
I get you. I get you when you say, why is it always women are manipulated? Women manipulate men way more. I get that. But it's a different type of manipulation. Yeah, you can't be just serial number erasing, right, dog? You can't just be doing that, bro. Not with assault weapons. What the fuck is Diddy and his sons thinking, bro? You know, it's probably a lot of his sons too, but you're going to take that heat. It's your house.
Right. And look, a little bit more about evidence here.
I think it's a different type of manipulation.
Apparently, investigators collected
a
lot
manipulation
of electronic data, which can be crucial.
His manipulation is much more different than what a woman would do to a man.
Letter. The electronic evidence is similarly vast. The government has sought and obtained numerous search warrants for such evidence, in addition to obtaining evidence voluntarily from certain victims and witnesses. Setting aside devices seized in connection with the government's arrest, the government has obtained over 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, as well as over 30 other electronic and storage devices.
They got your electronic devices and shit, Diddy. You're probably
cameras and a surveillance system. This electronic data comes from the defendant himself, as
You're
well as
probably
conspirators,
fucked,
victims,
Diddy.
and witnesses, and chronicles much of the defendant's criminal activity as it occurs. And the government also sent out subpoenas to all sorts of companies and associates connected to Combs. It says, quote, finally, the evidence includes records obtained pursuant to over 300 grand jury subpoenas and other voluntary productions. These materials come from over 100 entities and individuals, including communications providers, tech companies,
grand jury subpoenas,
banks, and other financial institutions, airlines, hotels, car services, and other travel-related companies, escort services, and even the defendant's companies and wealth management firms.
Yeah, his sons own an escort business.
That is a lot. What can we expect?
Well, and I believe
his sons own escort
the Homeland
business.
Security investigations are leading this investigation. And frankly, they're very good at what they do. So, and I'm sure they have a team or even a task force looking at this, because the alleged criminal conspiracy is so vast and there's so many victims. So what I would expect is, once they get through this evidence, the evidence, it appears to be overwhelming, because you're going to see all the text messages, all of his statements that are going to incriminate himself with all of these people. And frankly, this has been going on for so long. I think there was a comfort level that he had, or his circle had, where they thought they weren't going to get caught. They could just continue to do this. And then frankly, that the hammer fell.
Hey, y'all. 10 days left in my house, yo.
That if there was going to be a trial, it would likely
be building here. 10 days left, y'all. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Be something that would take months in terms of presenting all of this evidence.
And by the way, they say that the investigation is ongoing. Is it possible that investigators are still combing through this material? It's been a while. It's been since March since they did those raids. But remember, they interviewed people. They spoke to these alleged victims.
You run
that could have been going on before or after the raids. So, I mean, do you think they're still combing through this evidence? When they say the investigation is ongoing, I think that means more people to come forward. How does it work?
Absolutely. They're going to continue to comb through that evidence. And then once they come through that evidence, that might lead to more search warrants or more subpoenas or more court orders to get cloud-based information, as well as the fact that more people are going to be coming forward, and then they're going to lead them to getting more electronic evidence. So this thing is going to go on until there's a trial or there's a plea agreement.
And I'll just finish up with this last part, that the prosecutors, they sent to the judge before the bail hearing this attachment, Exhibit A, which was the surveillance video of Combs allegedly attacking his then girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura.
I can't believe what he did to his own woman, bro.
Ventura was attempting,
beating her like that. Was
leave the
crazy.
hotel
That kick
after a
was a kick that you don't.
Off
It's like kicking a dead dog, bro. Like
drugged and forced to have
you fucking soccer baller.
And then Combs comes running down the hallway in a towel, throws her to the ground. That's the allegation from the video. Now, the government says that
drop the towel. You don't drop the towel at all. He's holding on that towel the whole time, dragging his bro. That's wrong, bro.
He doesn't get what he wants. But I also think
totally
it's
bad.
I think that's a key piece of evidence. But I also think it's important, if it was
love doesn't come with a black eye, y'all.
If it was found
like what
during
we
the
did
course of this investigation, that is significant, because it would, I think, bolster the claim that he tried to get that footage and he tried to silence this, right?
Well, on that note, I believe somehow it was leaked from the hotel, if I remember correctly, and it was independent of him. So actually, that actually leads to more credibility for the evidence, because it came from an independent source that had nothing to do with this. And then furthermore, he came out afterwards and apologized for his behavior and said he was in a bad place. So that apology basically was a confession that it was indeed him. Now, obviously, we know it was him, but then he basically owned his behavior.
Like an idiot.
With that, he basically authenticated the video and corroborated the video with his own statement right afterwards.
When
it was released to the media. So that video, yes, that is very damning, and I believe they attached it because it was already in the public domain. But it appears that they have more of this type of video, of this behavior on video, based upon all the stuff that they seized from his houses in California and I believe in Miami.
All right, so clearly,
all right, man. I think okay, we're going to be covering this a little bit as it goes along. I'm entrenched with this P. Diddy shit. I think we've soaked up all the information about it. I think we've got it right. He's being indicted on all these counts. If you guys want that paperwork, I have it. I can give it to you. Hit me on IG. I'll get it to you. It's a pretty crazy indictment. A lot of it does have a lot with the witnesses were writing on those lawsuits. So I don't know. I mean, I think P. Diddy's going to prison, bro. And I wonder how long his trial is going to take. Fucking Thugs took 4 years. What's the young rapper down in Florida? That young brother's been down here. It's like 6 years fucking waiting on a trial. So can we make sure that we have a good trial? and this man gets placed behind bars, all the bars, send his ass to Pelican Bay. He paid his way out of it. That's what these rich, they get rich and then find out that they can pay their way out of things. And I'm pretty sure they get used to that, right? Oh, well, I'll just pay my way out of it. I'll just pay my way out of it. I don't fucking know. Anyway, salute you guys, man. I'm gonna end this one on that one on a good note. We're gonna cover this as more things come out. This is where I might kind of like stretch the two different channels. Make one for like the celebrity gossip. Make one for you know what. You know what? Bombing on hoes. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go to the store, get me a few things, and then I might be back on, y'all. Y'all want to do another stream? I might get back on and have a good day with y'all. I got nothing I need to do. I'm co-chilling. I want y'all to have a beautiful day as well, though. P. Diddy, bro. I don't know how you go from sleeping on silk sheets to now sleeping on a damn bunk with your... I don't even know. Do you think he's got a person in the cell? I don't think he's got a person in there. They're probably holding Diddy away from people right now. He's in there like rocking back and forth, can't sleep, can't do nothing. I'll see y'all in a little bit.
The only time I'm safe is when I'm dangerous. Posted in the 30 with this 30, trying to leave them brainless. We still in the jets, exactly where them boys say we ain't hanging. Put cheese on my head, I come collect that shit. You think I'm playing? Trouble hop out busting at it, brother. Miss you know I'm hitting. We got O's and Bo's in here, and we got wood cook in the kitchen. If I say go get them, they go get them. Young boy fingers itching, fingers squeezing on the trigger. They heard all them glitches. Money man, I run it up. If I fall off, I'm poking shit. Told that bitch quit asking questions. I hate all that notice shit. We send shots the whole year round, no ring around the road and shit. My little bro, he makes you vanish. He with hocus pocus shit. Chopper bust, they hit the ground. It's too many sticks around. We known to get greasy, pussy. Don't you have your bitch around? Switch up on this bitch. I catch him deep, get a whole click around. Put us in the midst of shit that we ain't do. We spinning now. Bitch keep trying to tell me slide. Think she trying to set the pick. Other hoes been tripping, texting my bitch on that messy shit. Left a bro out there with his brains out. Yeah, that's that messy shit. Bought another